What up, everybody? It's your boy Action Johnny here, back with a slice of L5R goodness for you. So, if you've been following my channel as of late, you'll know that I am all hot and bothered for Unicorn right now. So, just been playing quite a lot of games with them, learning the deck, trying to perfect my lines with the deck. And yeah, the game I got for you today is versus the most insidious of foes, the Scorpion. Um, I've decided to publish this video today to teach mainly myself, but also anyone else playing against Scorpion, a lesson on what not to do versus versus them. And I may have spoiled the result of the game a little bit, but I feel the game was entertaining enough anyway that it's worth watching. So, without further ado, let's go. Okay, so yeah, this is the sixth of my 7 pod games for the Discord Season 9. At this point, I was currently 5-0. The only undefeated left in my pod, and I was really hoping to keep it that way. So yeah, this is game number 6. I'd watched this dude play some of his other matches, and he definitely seemed like he knew what he was doing with Scorpion. So anyway, yeah. So I got a pretty sweet flop here. I got like 2 1-drops and Shiatomi encampment right on the holding that I wanted the best bit of bait on, really. I got Shiatomi encampment on upholding authority, which is the Earth province that lets you discard cards from hand when it breaks. I feel that province is really important in this matchup. I mean, you are sort of gambling a bit, but you really want it to break, and you really want to get a decent hit from it. Like maybe 2 of their attachment controls, 2 of their cancels, or 2, like maybe the Magistrate or the Fate Worse Than Death. Just something really impactful. So super happy with my flop. My conflict hand is, great as well for this matchup. 3 conflict characters in charge. Could not have asked for anything better. I kept the charge because I don't know what's under the year. Probably should have flipped it, but whatever. It's always a good card, and if I don't need to play it this turn, I can always play it later turns. So I buy 2 guys. He buys 1. My initial draw isn't amazing. I draw up into 2 Censures, which are completely dead this turn. But I do get Invocation, Force of the River, and Ready for Battle. Out of those 3, Force the River's doing nothing unless I play it on the Wayfinder, because no Dynasty Shigenjas at this minute in time. So yeah. So my strategy really was, if I could get early breaks on the Impact provinces, great, because I really don't want to be going back to Shameful Display and Pilgrimage time and time again. Yeah, so if I could break them early, sweet, but if not, then, plan was to find the Farm province and farm it for as long as possible, basically. So he plays a Meek Informant and sees all my shit, which is kind of both good and bad. Like, on one hand, him knowing that I have Sentry in his deck does create like a mind game loop, where he's like, oh shit, he's got a cancel, I've got to play around that all game now. On the other hand, that cancel loses its surprise, which is kind of a bummer. So yeah, he has first player here. And maybe points where I intermittently speed through the slower parts of the game, just because, well, you don't want to be watching thinking time now, do you, viewers at home? He's going straight for Earth, wasting no time. And he walks straight into upholding authority. So I have a little think about this, but ultimately I'm like, well, 8 cards in his hand. You know, maybe I want him to break this ASAP. Maybe I was slightly impatient here, but I just think, fuck it. I stick the Invocation of Ash straight on his Meek Informant there. And then, of course, I notice that he's gone down to 4 Fate to play the Meek Informant. So I'm thinking, good time to maybe stick a Goblin in, you know, steal that Fate that takes him below Fate worse than death threshold. But, you know, what do I do? What does anyone do? Okay, he is really having a Tiswas here. He uses his stronghold to grab an honor. I pass. Does he carry on doing shit? I can't remember. Downtime. Alright, yeah, and that was it. Yeah, he decides to hawk tattoo my Moto Youth into the conflict. Uh, which I'm okay with, to be honest with you. So I play my Goblin Sneak thinking, right, taking you from 3 to 2 now. Let's make you do something. It's really funny. He's obviously like trying to figure out ways to play cards out of his hand. I've seen that Upholding Authority has that effect on players quite a lot. They sort of decide to go, oh well, I'm gonna lose some cards. Better play them. I'm like, yeah, cool. Play away, my friend. Play away. He has another long think. He's a very considered player, this dude. He didn't rush into decisions quickly. As is evidenced by this long way. Oh shit, hold on. Come on, mate. Anything will do. Alright, there he goes. He assassinates. Bickety bam, the goblin dies. Okay, cool, I guess. That's what I was thinking at the time. I break Upholding Authority and I reveal a pretty disappointing hand, if I'm honest. No doubles. There's not a cancel in there. Fate Worse Than Death is firmly in hand, and this is something I will remember for the rest of the game. So I'm thinking, well, I could get rid of Fate Worse Than Death. I could do that. But I've got a lot of really nice attachments in my deck. And I know that he's running, at the very least, 4 conflict attachment control cards. At the very least, he's going to be running 4. You know, maybe also Mere Mystic. So I would quite like to play some of these attachments later. So maybe I should go for Let Go. I was obviously looking at Way of the Scorpion as well, because that card is just fucking pain in the ass. You know, between dishonoring you out, lowering your conflict stats, and switching on Magistrate, their Magistrate, obviously. I really fucking hate it. But I decided to go for Let Go, because I feel like, well, you know, in the case of me drawing Spyglasses or, you know, Forces of the River or whatnot, I don't really want him to be able to deal with that. You know, that's like a quarter of his dynasty attachment control I just discarded. Okay, so I'm like, great, my turn. What are we gonna do? I should probably stand up my guy. So I trigger my Yurt, get a 2 honor. I love Yurt versus Scorpion. It just drags the game out a bit. That's why I'm running 3 pretty much for this matchup. And it's just like card filter, isn't it? You get through your dynasty a bit quicker. Master of the Swift Waves is revealed, which is great. Like that card. So now I do have a target for charge. So I'm thinking, great, well I can go in and probably break a province with the cards in my hand here. Especially now that I know he can't play a fate worse than death. He doesn't really have a lot here that he can use to boost himself. I'm like thinking, okay, cool, well, I'll just do a military and I'll ready the thing. Hopefully I won't hit pilgrimage, and of course the first thing I do is hit pilgrimage, which is lame. It means I can't just poke this attack if I want this. If I want my plan to succeed, I really do want that water ring to go off, you know. So yeah, he's really defending this here. But if he's got any sense, he'll be thinking, he is playing Unicorn. Getting to 5 quickly is not super difficult. And he has already used Assassinate, and obviously I know his hand, so he wisely defends with the Rumourmonger here. Which is annoying. So I figure that my guy's going to get like Way of the Scorpion pretty quickly. Okay, I believe my first move is to... What is my first move? I guess I like charge. Or maybe I play in the Wayfinder. Because adding in an extra character brings me up to more than him, and then he has to start doing stuff. Well, I guess he doesn't have to start doing stuff because it's pilgrimage. Maybe I charge. Looks like I'm about to charge. There we go. Have a little think. Charge in the master. And I'm thinking, what is the most cost-efficient way to break this? What is the most cost-efficient way? And then, of course, I think I remember that I've got an invocation of Ash attached to that weak informant. And I'm like, oh yeah, sweet. That'll do it. So I trigger Invocation of Ash. Where does that invocation go? Come on, Dan, trigger the Invocation of Ash. Right, cool. I stick it on the attacker infantry. So now I'm breaking, and I've only spent 1 card, so that's pretty sweet. He now has to spend cards to stop the break. So this is probably where I get Way of the Scorpion. Because y'all know it's coming. I think I'm just thinking about... Oh wait, no, I'm not thinking about anything. Yeah, so he Way of the Scorpion's me. And then I think I do have a little think, and I'm like, what's the most cost-efficient way? Which out of my Wayfinder and my not Swift Waves, whatever the fuck that thing's called, yeah, Force of the River, there we go. Out of the Force of the River and the Wayfinder, which gives me the most value for playing? I think my reasoning here, knowing his hand, is to put in the Wayfinder with a Fate. So yes, I played another card and 2 Fate, but I'm going to have a character at the end of the turn, and he's not. Because I will almost certainly be doing Void as my second conflict. So yeah, I have a good old think here. But I can tell you what I do indeed do is put the Wayfinder into play. And he reveals Shameful Display, which is the province underneath the favoured niece. I'm thinking, fucking sweet. I'm going to water ring up my guy. He's going to solo break Shameful. He's not going to get his second Seeker Fate. This is turning out to be a pretty sweet turn. And I'm just sort of like wondering what's taking him so long now. Or maybe he's just figuring out if there's anything else he can do. So I didn't manage to save any fate this turn. Between playing out loads of cards that were mostly assassinated and unused. Looking at it, I don't know if the Goblin was the right choice now. But then, if he wasn't the right choice, my Master of the Swift Waves might very well be getting a fate worse than death here. Which, obviously, is not good. So, maybe the Goblin was correct. Who's to say? You can agonize over this shit. I'm pretty happy if I break Pilgrimage this turn, though. Pretty happy indeed. Oh, mate. This guy thinks a lot. Yeah, so... oh shit, why did I just do this? Skip through a load of shit. Oh yeah, he like for shames the attacker infantry. I'm ready for battle it. So he's probably like thinking so long over like whether it's worth using that for shame to just to make me use my ready for battle. So I do use it because I want to win this. And keep in mind he knows that I have the ready for battle. Obviously just checking his hand again. But at this point there's nothing he could do. So he does finally pass, I win. I sacrifice the Master of the Swift Waves. I discard that pesky blackmail artist and I unbound my guy. Oh, so super duper sweet. Oh yeah, forgot to mention obviously he discards one of my 2 centers with that Earth Ring he did earlier. Now, at the time I was like whatever, but it later turned out to be quite annoying because I kept the favour for most of the game, if I recall correctly. Anyway, good shit's going down. I do Military Void at the province I know is Shameful Display. I'm like, dope. Gonna break me some Shameful. How's he gonna get out of this one? But turns out I might have been counting my chickens, so to speak. It turns out he does have an answer for it in the form of Hawk Tattoo, which moves the young Rumourmonger into the conflict. And I'm like, great, well, I'm getting Shameful displayed. But ultimately, that move, whilst it did save Shameful Display, he lost his second Hawk Tattoo there. And it's actually turned off his ability to... no, he's probably not fucked about that. Obviously, he's gone on a guy leaving play, so he gains more honour. I guess it just gives him more honour to mess around with. Anyway, Shameful Display does not break, which is a bummer, but he is down to 3 cards now. His board is going away. I get the favour, which is what I really wanted. And yeah, that was a pretty good turn, all things considered. I swapped Upholding Authority for Pilgrimage. It didn't end with any fate, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. I've still got that Wayfinder on board. And there we go. I get the Battle Maiden, and I get Shahai. I'm first player now. Now, my first instinct was to basically just buy the Battle Maiden and pass. And then I was like, hold on a sec. My entire hand costs 0, and I've got enough money to buy Shahai with 0 fate, with 3 fate on her, and there's fate on rings here, and she lets me play Machado out. Now, of course, I remember he's got a cloud in his hand, so we'll see how much free Machado she's actually able to give me. But yeah, at first I was just going to pass here, and then I was like, actually, yeah. But there I go. I just buy her for yeah, 7 fate. So on a level is relatively comfortable. I carry on bidding 5. I draw into a second charge, a Banzai, a Cloud, and a Talisman. Talisman actually kind of scares me a bit in the Scorpion matchup, because if they steal your Talisman, you're kind of fucked. Like, it's almost an insta-loss at that point. Because there's one row you do not want to lose all control over where you attack, and that's Scorpion. So my first action after drawing 5 cards is to play Force of the River out on Shahai. I'm like, whatever. I don't need this to be a surprise. It's free at this point. And his first action, very rightly, is to cloud her. So, job's a good one. She's still got me one thing. I am first player. The only card in my hand I really want to be able to play this turn is Charge. If I need to. I'm pretty happy with everything right now, even though I'm at 0 fate, which is normally quite contradictory to how I play Unicorn. But you know, Scorpion's a quite contradictory matchup. You can't play the same game versus them. And I have spent enough time getting beaten about by them to know that you get fucked up if you make a stupid decision. Alright, so conflict phase, I pass my action. He passes his. Now, what I should have done here, this was a misplay. I shouldn't. Oh, wait, no, completely ignore me. I don't have a fate for the Wayfinder, basically. I should have probably saved a fate to play the Wayfinder. But then, it's Scorpion, you want to put 3 fate on you guys if you're going to buy them. Oops. I walk into Secret Cache because that's obviously the worst province I could walk into still, that I haven't revealed. So he goes fishes out a card of some kind. He didn't have any cancels in his hand, so if he hasn't drawn one now, I have no doubt he will have drawn a cancel. So the cool thing about Border Rider is I took Political Favour last turn. And so she's just kind of a pain in the ass right now. She didn't cost me anything. She's threatening a conflict. Man, I fucking love Battle Maiden Recruit. I might have just called it Border Rider. It's Battle Maiden Recruit, guys. He doesn't defend the conflict. He plays... Oh, so yeah, he's flipped Hinmin Dojo this turn, but he's flipped on Pilgrimage. So this was, again, super lucky for me. And now I imagine he's flipping the card in the hopes of being able to play a character into this conflict, but he actually flips an Imperial Storehouse, which again is super lucky. So I'm thinking, wow, well, I am having all the luck here. You know, this is great. So I get that air conflict through and I take the 2 honor. I wonder if air was the right one. Basically, I didn't want him doing air against me. But I maybe wonder if I shouldn't have focused, if I should have focused on the firing more here. Anyway, he gets another card, so even though that Dojo flipped a jack shit for the conflict, it did get him another card. He uses his stronghold. And now it's his turn to do some stuff. And he doesn't do some stuff, he just passes his conflict. This is probably wise. So that then leaves the firing open for me. And you know, like, part of me's like, shit, do I want this? Do I want this firing? I kind of want Earth. You always want Earth and Scorpion. All of their cards are so good. But then I also don't want him to get the fade, so Fire's pretty good. Kind of bummed not to have seen a keeper, but you know, that's the way the cookie crumbles. I'm just sort of weighing up who I should attack with here. Like, ultimately this is the attack which I'll be able to trigger my stronghold on, so I think, well, I got a fate now. He doesn't have any courtiers. He's probably drawn an edict, but not having a courtier is really bad here. Flopping through Shigenja is really bad. Odds of that are quite low. And then obviously not getting another getting us out holding on the dojo flip is also low. Unlucky. Yeah, so I go back to Secret Cache with my Wayfinder. I'm thinking, yeah, come on, defend with your guy. Defend with your guy, I can definitely win this conflict. Because ultimately he cannot have fate worse than death because he has no cancel and I can cancel with my sweet nifty censure. So he's in a bit of a tight spot here. He chooses not to defend the conflict and he decides to let go of the Force of Rither, which is actually a very clever move because I think my plan was to either move the Battle Maiden in or the Wayfinder out with the favourable ground and then trigger that to get... Yeah, so I probably would have moved in the Battle Maiden and I would have triggered Force the River to get the full force, knowing that he has no way to stop that apart from to assassinate the Wayfinder. I'm really thinking about cancelling this Let Go. I'm really, really thinking about it. Because I really do want to make that play, but I actually don't cancel it. I think it's more important to threaten the cancel on a fate worse than death. And besides, if he wants to let that go, I have another 2 I can draw into. So that's now both his Let Go's gone. Since I imagine he's either on multiple Hawk tattoos or some amount of Ancient Masters as well. I sack the Battle Maiden recruit. I honour Shahai. And it's all pretty awesome at the minute. He pays a fate to instantly undo that though, which is a shame. But hey ho. So now he has an opportunity to declare a conflict. He doesn't do that. He passes that. So I think, fuck it, man. I'm going in for this. I'm going in for this last conflict at whatever it's called, Secret Cache. And at this point, I'm like, I got to break this province now. You know, I've poked twice. He's done. I've made him do stuff, I guess. He still hasn't used his Soshi Illusionist. I also think like the break is guaranteed because he's used his one cloud on Shahai, and I have charge plus Nergu who can move out his only defender. So he'll need some. He'll need to either spend into the conflict to stop the break, or have some impressive tricks. Now, flirt with the idea of Earth Ring briefly, and then I think I just switch gears and go for Void Ring, because again that leaves me with a character and him with no characters. It's kind of the value play here. His hand's still fairly big. Either one would probably have been okay. Like, I sometimes fixate on Void Ring more than I should, I feel. But it's always a safe bet, you know? It is always a safe bet. Anyway, his first action is to nuke Shahai's stats with his Sinister Soshi. So he is defending currently. So I'm like, oh fuck this shit. We're charging. We're charging. He has no way of cancelling this. I'm just gonna like live the dream while I can. And that, like, yeah, Nergu basically guarantees me the break here. Like, the only thing that could stop the break. Uh, what's it called? Cunning Magistrate and Way of the Scorpion. But even then, I've got a cloud for the Magistrate. So it's very unlikely that he can stop this break now. So I believe I Banzai. I split it between them. And part of me is like, I really, really hope he plays a Bonsai of his own here. I really hope he plays a Bonsai of his own. That'd be so awesome. Because then I can just send his guy home. And it will all have been for naught. But I don't think he's bad, this guy. Do not think he's bad. So I don't think we see the Banzai. And there it is. He passes. I pass. I discard a Soshi. And I Void Ring his Shigenja. So I'm pretty happy with the way that turn panned out because I actually save a Fate as well. I keep it on political. Nergu goes away. And then I get a pretty expensive flop, which I wasn't super crazy about, TBH. But it happened. So I just get the match of the Swift Waves and stick 3 on her in the hope that I'm going to draw into a Spyglass of some kind. And you know, it kind of incentivizes him to pass early as well if he wants to Fate, because if he buys anything else now, I'm definitely passing. He does pass though. I pass. And then I jam 5. Bjork. So we get another Force of the River, a Goblin Sneak, another Wayfinder, Captive Audience, and Charge. At this point, like, I've probably got more conflict characters than I need. You know, like, my buffs would be great now. Or like my impact events, like Cavalry Reserves. He does finally have a Courtier though. And he goes straight for fire. I still haven't seen a keeper. And he flips Feast of Famine, which is pretty lame. Pretty lame. I don't bother defending. I think what I decide to do here is just Captive Audience it. Because I kind of wanted to win out this time. Well, I don't know if I was going to be able to win out, but certainly like the idea of winning out. He goes homebound. I've still got the favourable ground if I need to send someone in. He plays a Goblin Sneak. I'm just like, well, whatever. Break it if you want. I've got the Vengeful Oathkeeper I can trigger. Think about it. Don't do it, Dan. Don't do it. Yeah, that's it. Just pass. Yeah, there's like no way for me to win this, so unless I want to charge in the fucking guy, that seems so bad. So he decides to not break. And he wins. I lose another honor for unopposed, but I get a free guy into play. Hooray! And he triggers the firing to dishonor my Swift Waves Master, which sucks. That's cool. At this point I'm thinking, well, I kinda want to break Shameful Display because he's really going to need to work for it not to break. So I do a political Earth conflict with the Master of Bailing Out, just to see what the vibe is. That favour really helping me out here. Finally go for the Earth Ring as it's got some fate on it, and I just love that Earth Ring. I don't know what's taking him so long to choose defenders. There is no one to defend with. This was probably a mistake. I think I attacked with the Swift Waves Master here because I didn't want Jahai to get dishonoured by Shameful Display, because I think I assumed he had a conflict character in hand. So he doesn't defend the conflict, and I don't know if he actually does anything here. Like, I can't break Shameful Display while that favourable grounds on it with a political, unless I do the switch. Like, at this point I'm thinking, well, he's surely got to have the fucking Cunning Magistrate by now. He's seen 22 cards in his deck. And bang, there it is. There's that Cunning Magistrate. So cunning. Man, I really, really wanted to break Shameful Display on this conflict, but with that Cunning Magistrate coming down, I don't think there's a way that I can now. So I let it go, and he wins the Earth. I wonder if I should have played like a Wayfinder in, or moved a character in there, just to try and force some more cards. Having said that, I do have the Cloud the Mind in hand. I'm pretty sure I was like, well, if I really need to win this, I can just Cloud the Mind him. He's bowed now. The worst thing, of course, being that he has a favourable ground on his own on the row, so he can just jam that fucking Magistrate into a second conflict if he wants to. So I'm like, alright, screw this, we'll go water. We'll stand up one of my guys. We'll go military with the free guy. He does indeed use the favourable ground. And then he uses Shameful Display. Which I'm okay with. At this point I decide to do I charge or do I use Cloud? I'm like, oh buddy, that Shameful Display is gonna break. I go for the charge, wondering if he's going to cancel it. Because then if he cancels it, I can cancel his cancel, and it will still go through. He doesn't cancel it, which is again wise. He instantly wears the Scorpions. I don't cancel that. But I do stick a Cloud the Mine on his Magistrate. Now he needs to use Calling in Favours to get it off, because I know obviously he's seen 2 let goes, and I'm pretty confident he'd only be running 2. He does have Calling in Favours. Now that I'm like, yeah, okay, fuck this. I will cancel that. And he edicts my cancel. So that's a pretty big turning point in the game there. I finally used my cancel. He's had a cancel ready for it. Was this the right thing to cancel? Who's to say? It's a decision that very well could come back to haunt me. So I use my favourable ground to get these guys out, since I'm pretty confident now I can just win the conflict or force the river. And break Shameful. So I stick Force the River on, knowing that if he has his 4th piece of attachment control in the conflict deck, GG, well played. But the odds are not in his favour for that. So I take a punt with Force of the River and I play it, because really there's actually no way to deal with these spirits once they come out. Like, that's just 3 military that he has to block. He passes, which I'm overjoyed at. Bang! In they go. And after an incredibly long pause, which I've edited out, he passes. I break Shameful. I trigger my Stronghold. I unbow the Master of the Swift Waves. And it's happy fucking days. Oh, it's almost happy days. So I've spent all my fate at this point in the turn, which means I didn't actually look what's underneath his Stronghold. And my last conflict left is military. So I just go for military air and hope that it's rally. At this point I'm praying so badly it's rally, and it's not rally, it's entrenched position. My kingdom for a bonsai. My kingdom for a bonsai at this point. Sadly, no bonsai. He passes. I sadly pass myself because I have nothing. I do win an airing. I do draw another Force of the River, which would have been fucking great a minute ago. And I get a fate. My airing is negated by the two guys leaving play that's dishonored. We're going into this next round, and I know entrenched on his stronghold is a problem. He's got me at a hand advantage now as well. I'm lower on honor than I'd like to be. 7 is where Scorp, they feel like it can switch their bids and really get you down to the 2s and the 3s and then just go on this turbo dishonor mission. So I was a little worried. Okay, my flip is fucking abysmal. Like, so bad here. Like, I actually think I have to buy the keeper here as well, right? Because I want to play Force of the River, and if I don't buy the keeper, that means I need to do a firing conflict and win before I can do my Force of the River conflicts. Oof, I don't know. Yeah, my conflicts in which I use Force of the River. This turn is really the beginning of a lot of bad decisions that I make. The first of which may be indeed buying the keeper. I think I get tunnel vision here, and I kind of get it stuck in my head that I need to break this stronghold on military. I don't know why I do that. Like watching this line, I do start to wonder what the fuck I'm doing here. He denies me the passing fate, so he's up to 10 fate now. I was gonna bid 5, but for some reason I bid I think like 3 or 4 just in case he decides to one bid. He doesn't one bid though. He bids 5. That's probably a misplay there, bidding 4. I bid 4. He doesn't Bayushi Liar. So now he can stronghold me right off the bat. So that was dumb. Should have done 3 or 5 there, not 4. I didn't do the maths. Lazy maths. I draw more conflict characters and then kind of stuff that doesn't really help me win conflicts. Like court games is maybe handy if I can turn off his cancel. Captive audience could be handy. But really what I need is force pumps, and I don't draw that here. Okay, so he instantly steals an honor. I'm just trying to figure out my line. And my line, I think I decided to go with political first. Now I go for the Void Ring here, and I think this is the third potential misplay. Because I want the Fate, and it's good enough, right, because it gets rid of the Magistrate. But by going for the Void Ring here, I'm essentially saying I'm going for the long game, because I want to wait until next turn to try and break the stronghold, because I want to get rid of your Magistrate this turn. And that's not what I want to do at all. What I actually want to do is close the game out as quickly as fucking possible now, while I still can, because I know he's got a Fate worse than death in hand. So I go for this political Void Ring with 2 chuds, when really what I should probably have done was go military first conflict with the Master of the Swift Waves and the Mere Mystic. What I probably should have fucking done was actually play out the goddamn Wayfinder. That's what I should have done. Oh dear. But I didn't play out the Wayfinder, I instead passed through that. So I do political. He court games is me. I decided to use it on the guy with less glory. And then I'm like, haha, great, I can dishonor you with court games, and you can't honor yourself back again, so I've turned off your cancel. Of course, if that was going to be my aim, I should have just gone firing here. I should have 100% gone firing. I should not have bought the keeper. I should use the Master of the Swift Waves and the Mere Mystic and the Yichi Wayfinder in this conflict. Just try and put some pressure on, make him defend with the Magistrate when it's not optimal. Because if I win that fire conflict, I get the keeper, and I can probably win it. That's what I should have done. I would have got 2 keepers as well, because there's one in my discard now. Anything to force the Magistrate, and that of course stops him getting fire on the swing back. I don't really care if he goes void here. I've got a lot of fate anyway. I don't even know if I needed the fate from the void ring. Just did not think this turned out through. Didn't think this turned through well enough. Now I start doing all kinds of questionable bollocks. Why am I captive audiencing here? You know? It's absolutely no need to do that. I don't know why I did that. That was such a waste of a captive audience. I should have just passed there. Really did not need to do that. I go to use my stronghold, but of course I didn't play a fucking Wayfinder. So that's a huge mistake. So that whole conflict was really just wrong. Everything about that was wrong. Didn't need to do the void ring. Should have done fire. I was definitely shouldn't have been political in the first place, because I knew I was going to use the Mere Mystic to get rid of the cloud on Shahai, thus giving me her covert back again. So it should have been a military conflict, because if I need to change my political one to military later to trigger my stronghold, I have captive audience to do that. Oh, so fucking bad. So bad. So I'm like, well, cool, I'll just go for one massive push. I'll go in with both of them and I'll covert that stupid Magistrate. And that, with some luck, will hopefully be enough. I don't know, what was I thinking here? So he obviously swings back with a stupid goblin fire. So I'm thinking, well, he's got to be dishonoring Shahai here, right? Oh my god, I'm so annoyed with myself watching this back. This is hey, this is the ring I should be going after, not void. Genuinely can't afford to defend here, and I don't actually really want. Maybe I do defend though. I can't really afford to lose the honour, so I think I do actually defend. I don't declare any defenders. Do I play the goblin now? Oh, I think I play a super weak goblin. Which is a mistake. Should play the Yichi Wayfinder in at this point. Should have done that ages ago. But at least then I have a target for my Shiatomi encampment. That's probably why I flipped it with captive audience. I flipped the conflict from political to military with captive audience so I could trigger Shiatomi. But again, unnecessary. It's a stupid way to do that. Should have just gone military in the first place. And tried to break the fucking stronghold with Shahai in my political favour and my covert. Oh my god. So bad. Great. So he drops in a fucking Kami. And I'm now running the very real risk of getting double dishonored. So at this point I'm like, ah, fuck it, I do need to defend this. I gotta do something. A firing trigger and unopposed honor. Oh man, it's just everything about this turn I'm playing badly. I then play this goblin in, which is such a poor play. For a start, his reaction is crazy low impact when he's at 7. When my opponent's at 7 fate. I could have saved an extra fate by just playing in a Wayfinder. He triggers the Kami to then basically get the honor off, to get the dishonor off his courtier. So now he's turned his Forged Edict on. Again, this could have been completely avoided if I'd just not gone void. I could probably have won the game this turn if I'd not gone void. Oh my god. He would have gone void at this point. But so the fuck what? So I lose I would lose my board. With Fate Worse Than Death and everything, but only if it went to the next turn. I probably have a better chance of breaking this. So I defend it, I don't win it. Should probably have tried to win that. The keepers and whatnot. But I didn't, because I'm bad. My little guy jumps in and instantly gets dishonored by the firing. Which means I know he hasn't. I know he's done that instead of dishonoring Shahai because he's got a Fate Worse Than Death in hand. So the second that she goes into a conflict, she's going to get smacked. Okay, and at this point, I'm trying to do my maths. I'm trying to see if there's a way I can do this. I decide not to play the Force of the River out on Shahai because she's just about to get Fate Worse Than Death, and on the off chance this doesn't work, I don't want to lose the Force of the River. So I do a Covert Water, which is incorrect as a ring choice as well. I should really be going for air here, or I should be going for earth. And really, it should be air. His first move is to use Hawk Tattoo to move in the Swift Magistrate, which just... Really, at that point, I should have bailed on the conflict. At this exact moment, I should be like, right, I'm not going to win this. There's no way. With 11 cards in hand to my 5, I should invest no further into this, and I should get the fuck out. I should, favourable ground Shahai out, switch the Master out with her ability, and just get the fuck out of there. Absolutely what I should have done. But I don't do that because I'm a fucking idiot. Still feel like I'm doing maths, and if I'd thought about this properly, I'd know that there is absolutely no conceivable way I can win the conflict. There's just absolutely there's zero chance. Unless every single card in his hand is awful, which I super duper doubt. So I use the Favourable Ground to get the Magistrate out. For some reason. Should have taken Shahai right out of there. Because obviously now she gets Fate Worse Than Death. Oh, he doesn't. He passes. So I trigger my first one, and then he Fate Worse Than Deaths. I ready her, which is a waste of their cards. Total waste of that card. Oh, man, oh man. So bad, guys, so bad. Man, my kingdom for a cloud. So he's not content to lose this. He does not want me having a chance here. He bans eyes. I'm like, well, I don't know why I keep investing into this conflict, but I guess I better just continue investing into this conflict. Oh man. And every single play I'm making is basically hastening my loss. It was a real slow turn. I kept thinking for ages and then making really bad decisions. Well, you got to do this, folks. You got to learn from your losses. You got to agonize through them. Watch yourself suck so that you don't do it again. Or maybe you will do it again. Maybe you'll just endlessly repeat your mistakes. Who's to say? Yeah, keep playing stuff out. That's it. Add in more strength 1 tokens. That will contribute nothing. Oh my god, his last province was fucking Meditations on the Tau. Oh man, why did I go for Shameful? Oh, okay, not playing those Wayfinders was so bad as well. Too many mistakes made in this game. Christ. Didn't even think about that till now. And of course he plays his third copy of Way of the Scorpion to dishonour a single lowly Wayfinder. 1 card in hand, it's a Tasman, I've got no fate. It's doing absolutely nothing for me. I am fucked. I've put everything into this conflict and I haven't even won the ring, let alone broken the stronghold. And I don't know why I did any of it. I just got tunnel vision and made a series of awful decisions. Like, realistically speaking, even if I'd gone for the firing that turn, I don't even know if I would have been able to break the stronghold with his hand and the magistrate. Because he's still got 8 cards in that hand. You know, it took him 3 cards to completely undo that. So, would I have been able to get it through? I don't know. Magistrate leaves play. I still have a board, but I have no hand, and I'm staring down entrenched position, and I'm feeling pretty bad about this game now. I've got 2 honor as well. I'm gonna 100% get dishonored out, really. I don't think there's anything I can do, because I know those wombats are coming. Yeah, I think I also just slightly tilt here as well. And to really cut a long story short, I make another disastrous choice here and spend all of my money on buying Dynasty instead of just the infantry and Shono. And then I don't even have... Oh god, I don't even have any money to play cards. Worst thing is, he's first player here as well. And had I been first player, this might actually have been doable because of Force of the River and Shono. So, hilariously, this last card not being Where the Unicorn is actually kind of a bummer. That's still not going to make me put Where the Unicorn in my deck, but just a fun observation for you. So I buy Shono because I'm obviously going to buy Shono. He buys the Blackmail Artist, which can single-handedly win this game for him. Since all of my guys have no political setup apart from Shono, who I really don't want to use in this conflict to defend. And obviously I've changed the favour to military now as well, which is bad. And I should just stop there, but no, I get that Mystic. For some reason, I get that Mystic. No, I just, there it is. And there, I draw my Cloud, which I now obviously have no fate to play. And I'm not going to be able to get a fate as well because I'm second player. So, both of my cards are dead in hand as I can't play them. Talisman I'd be worried about playing at this point anyway in case he has drawn into that fucking 4th calling in favours. Oh. And he just does political air against the completely blank Feast or Famine. And I fear, my dear fellows, that may very well be it for me. I defend with the useless Mere Mystic. The useless Mere Mystic. Oh man, and there is Kachiko to put seal to the deal. Which is bad news, guys. Because he just boots me out. Now, if I hadn't bought the Mystic, what I could have done was put a Cloud on the Blackmail Artist. And then at least I don't die. And then if he does have the calling in favours to move it over Kachiko, he's now attacking with a blank Kachiko who's at 3 strength. Yeah, everything there was awful. I should have just defended of like Master of the Swift Waves and the infantry and clouded the blackmail artist, and then either he has to calling in favours the cloud over to Kachiko, which obviously dishonours her and makes her blank. And then I can play Talisman freely, move him over to fucking Border Fortress and trigger my own rally to turn it to military. Ugh, I'm so bad. I'm so bad. So I actually could have maybe salvaged the game in that turn if I hadn't been a complete idiot there and bought the Mere Mystic. Because Cloud on the Blackmail Artist stops him winning the game outright. So he needs to get rid of that. And the only way he can do that is with calling in favours. I'm so bad. Anyway, that's enough. That's enough anguish for one day. Thanks for watching me ramble to myself while I watch myself fail spectacularly at L5R. But yeah, hey, I'm glad I watched that through. You sort of see how you could have sequenced things differently, what the plays were. Oh man, tunnel vision is just the worst thing in this game. You know, the second something feels bad, you've just got to stop. You've got to cut it dead and just not pursue it. You know, when I saw that cunning magistrate get moved in with the Hawk Tattoo into that conflict, I should have just been like, nope, bail, absolutely bail. I can't win this now. But I didn't. I got tunnel vision. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully the other games I post won't be quite as awful to watch. Take care.